Hello, my name is Charles Ardinger, and I'll be working with you as your instructor in the Appreciation of Literature class you're about to start. I'm making this brief video presentation in order to introduce myself and to show you some aspects of the class that may be of use to you as we continue. So, to begin, let me introduce myself. Hello, my name is Charles Ardinger. I've been working here at Coastline since 2013, first in the Student Success Department and then as an instructor, the instructor you see before you today. Among my other aspects, I consider myself an expert in English grammar. I really enjoy talking about English grammar. I also like answering questions about it. So if you have any questions of that kind, please don't hesitate to email me. I'd really enjoy having that conversation. And that's plenty about me. I'll be learning more about you as we continue through your writing and your reactions to the literature we read. But before we begin, I'd like to show you some aspects of the class that you'll find helpful as we continue. And those aspects will appear on our class's front page. And this is our class's front page. This is the page that you'll see whenever you log in to our class to start your work. So what I want you to notice first is on the right side of the page here, and in the middle of the page here, is a list of dates accompanied by a list of assignment names. These dates are the due dates for these assignments. What this means is that you can discover what you should be doing in our class at any moment just by looking at the class's front page and knowing the date. For instance, if it's later in June, you should probably be working on this discussion, or on this quiz, or this assignment. This will help you with the skill of time management, which in my opinion is extremely important in an online class. We don't meet in a classroom physically at regular hours, so we don't have that to keep us on track. We're pretty much on our own, and this schedule on our front page will help you with that. Also, I'd like to communicate with you as your instructor, so I've developed a few ways to do that. First, you'll notice at the top of the page there are announcements. These are little messages that I will issue once or twice a week about things I see in class, issues of grammar, or how people are reading the texts, or things that happen to me that I think will be relevant to class. I want to share these with you in order to, make the class more enriching, more interesting. To see these announcements, excuse me, click on the title of the announcement, which you'll see here at the top of the page in boldface. That will lead you to a page that looks like this. And there's an announcement here. You can read this announcement, if you like, at your leisure, just by pushing pause on this video. It says pretty much, excuse me again, what I've said here, except it adds that some of the material in these announcements will be on quizzes. Because I think it will be a useful supplement to what I give in the lectures. So do read the lectures, also read the announcements regularly. They'll help you not just as a student in this class, but I think also as a reader of literature and a writer about literature. And that's one way in which I'll communicate with you. I'll also communicate with you through your grades. This is, after all, a class, so you will be performing assignments. You'll be doing quizzes, you'll be writing assignments, you'll be participating in discussions, and I will grade and respond to those activities. To discover my responses, simply go to the link, Grades. This makes sense, I think. Clicking this link will lead you to a page that looks like this, with a list of assignment names, and, in some cases, a grade. So, to look at the grade of this particular assignment, click on the title of the assignment, and that will lead you to a page that looks like this. And on this page, I want to show you three things. First, you will see a comment. I will make a comment of this kind on everything you submit. I will try to explain how I responded to it as a reader, what I saw in it, what I would like to have seen in it. I can give you advice for how to continue to do this kind of assignment. Basically, I'll be continuing the conversation that you start by responding to texts in the way that you respond to them. I also want to show you this rubric. A rubric is a list of criteria for an assignment, things I expect to see, with numbers attached to those criteria, and those numbers will determine the grade. So to see the rubric, to see why I gave you the grade I gave you, you can click this link, and that will make this rubric appear. Now in this case, the test student who took this assignment did pretty well on the first criterion, but did not do very well on the second criterion. So this student can take that advice and work a little harder to see what he can do to satisfy this kind of thing on future assignments. And that's why the student got the grade he did. I will make this rubric go away by pressing this X so that I can show you the third thing that I want you to see on this page, the View Feedback link. Pressing this link leads to a small copy of the assignment that you actually submitted. It's similar to the typed piece of paper that you would give me if we were in a classroom. And similarly, on this, as on a typed piece of paper, I can make annotations, as if I were writing on your paper. This text in purple here above the typed text, between the typed lines, is an annotation. I will put these on your work in cases of grammar. If I see instances of grammar that I think could be more academic, I'll make a note of that and annotate your paper in that way. For more complicated annotations, like if I see a whole sentence that I need to talk about a little bit more, I'll use a highlighted annotation, which you'll see in this highlight here, that leads to a text box in which I will make the comment that the highlighted annotation is about. So these three things, the comment, the rubric, and the View Feedback link, will help you see how I respond to your assignments, and that's a way for us to communicate with each other through class to refine our work together. But this method of communication still seems a little bit impersonal. There's a certain amount of distance between us, both in space and in time, and so I'd like to try to get over that distance through the use of computer technology. With that in mind, I've instituted student visiting meetings that happen in my Zoom office on Tuesdays between 6:30 and 8 p.m., or if you like military time, between 1830 and 2000 Pacific time. These student visiting meetings are ways for us to get together and converse. We can chat about what you see in class. We can chat about what we've been reading. We can chat about whatever's on your mind, really. I'd like to have this opportunity to get in touch with you and communicate with you in a more personal way than just exchanging announcements or grades can do. I think if we make this connection between us, we can make a stronger class for us, both you and me, and help the educational process happen more easily and effectively. And so I've instituted these meetings to make that more likely. Also, if you check your syllabus, you'll notice that there is a possibility of extra credit for attending these meetings, so that might be something to consider also as we continue in class. And that's what I wanted to show you here on our class's front page. And having done that, I'd like to say a few things before this ends. First, I'd like to say thank you for enrolling in the class. Without students, there wouldn't be any reason for a class to exist, and therefore there would be no reason for me. So I'd like to thank you very much for helping me keep my job. I'd also like to thank you for the questions that you're going to be asking me as we continue. You have my email address, and if you see something that doesn't make sense in the class or something that needs more explanation, I really rely on you to let me know about that by asking questions. If I don't make sense, I won't know it because I always make sense to myself. And so I will keep on not making sense until someone helps me to clarify what I'm saying. And we do that by asking and answering questions. So thank you for your help in that area. And finally, I'd like to thank you for your time and attention.